In Lesson 17, multi-digit division, we're going to talk about estimating the quotient so that when we move to the big multi-digit division, we can check the reasonableness of our answer with our estimation. We're going to start looking at the problem 402 divided by 19, and I want to draw your attention to two terms that I'm going to be using for the rest of this module. So this first number, we're going to start to refer to as the whole. A lot of times you'll hear it as the dividend, which is still correct, but dividend is a hard word to remember, so I'm going to change it to something that is a little bit easier and use the word whole, which will also transfer to when we start working with fractions. And this number here, we're still going to call the divisor. Step one we've already done, which is identify the whole and the divisor, and this is going to help us when we move into estimating our dividend and divisor, or whole and divisor. Step two is we want to start with rounding the divisor first, and you want to round to the largest place value, and here it is tens. So I'm going to round 19 up to 20 because it is closer to 20. And I'm going to leave my whole number blank for right now. Step three is round the whole to a multiple of the divisor. This is a little bit different than multiplication because division is a little bit harder and we can't easily do something into another number if it doesn't fit nice and neat. So one of the ways to remedy that in our estimating is to make sure that our whole number estimation or whole number rounding is a factor of our divisor. So I'm going to start, once I get around 400, I'll start writing those down. So a factor of, or a multiple of 20, we can 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 120, 140, 160, 180, 2. And I'm going to jump up to 4 because it looks like, knowing how it goes in multiples, I can do 380, then I'd have next multiple of 20 would be 400, and then the following multiple would be 420. So now that I have something that is above my original whole number, I can take a look and say, okay, I know that 402 is going to fall somewhere between these two multiples, 400 and 420. And then I say, which one does my whole fall next to closer? And that would be the 400. So my rounded number that I'm going to use to do my estimating is 400. So we'll have 400 divided by 20. Step 4 is to solve using the divide by 10 patterns. So in my divisor, I can say, when I decompose it, I look and I see it's in the tens place, so I'm going to pull out that 10, and I'm going to say, oh, what times 10 equals 20? And that is 2. So these are the two numbers that I'm going to use in my new equation for my division problem. So I'll rewrite that as 400 divided by 10, because I want to start with that easy multiple of 10. Then finally divided by 2 from up here. And then we solve using PEMDAS from left to right. So the first part that I'm going to solve is that 400 divided by 10. And I know when I'm dividing by 10, I just move that decimal over how many zeros. So I have 40 divided by 2. And in looking here, I have that 0. And then I just need to do 4 divided by 2, which is 2. So my estimate for 402 divided by 19 to check the reasonableness of my answer will be 20. All right, let's try it with one more problem. 149 divided by 71. Step one is to identify my whole and my divisor. So my whole is going to be the 149, and my divisor is the 71. This lets me know which ones I am rounding at which point. Step 2 is I want to round the divisor first, and since it's in the tens column, I'm going to round to the nearest 10. So I'm either rounding down to 70 or I'm rounding up to 80. And because 71, that 1 in the next column is below my midpoint of 5, I am rounding down to 70. Now here comes the more challenging part. We need to round the whole to a multiple of the divisor here, in this case, which is 70. So I want to write out my multiples of 70. So I can start with 70, then I add another 70, which is 140, and then one more 70, which is 210. And now that I have a multiple that is above my original whole number, I can stop and say, okay, my whole number is going to be somewhere either rounded down to 140 or up to 210. And since 149 is closer to 140, that is the multiple that I'm going to go with. So I'm going to rewrite my equation here. 140 divided by 70. And now I can solve using my strategy of divide by 10. So I'm going to take my divisor and I'm going to say, okay, what multiple of 10 am I in here? I know I'm in the 10, so I'm going to do a 10. And then what can I multiply 10 by to get 70, which is 7. And then these are the two numbers that I'm going to use in my new equation. So I'll have 140 divided by 10, since that'll be the easiest one to do. And then I divide by 7. So using PEMDAS, I'm going to start at the left, and the first equation that I'm going to work with is 140 divided by 10, and I know that in division with multiples of 10 or powers of 10 that I just move that decimal over, so now I have 14, and then I add the rest of my division equation, which is 7, and 14 divided by 7 is 2. So this 2 is the estimate for what the answer to my original problem, 149 divided by 71, will be.